Okay. Hey everyone, welcome. We are KC Women's Ministry. This is afternoon tea. So today we are going to talk about baby wearing. Again, it's been our theme for the last couple of weeks.
Yay.
Yeah, so we are going to actually show you how to use some of these carriers. Let's start off with, I'm Brittany. I'm a birth and bereavement doula. I do this all the time. Forget to introduce myself. So I'm a birth and bereavement doula certified by Still Birthday and a self-taught avid baby wearer. I've been baby wearing all three of my children. So it's been about 6.5 years that I've been baby wearing, and I love to impart that knowledge onto others. So.
And I'm Madison. I am also a certified birth and bereavement doula through Still Birthday. I'm also a trained postpartum doula and a peer educator for baby wearing. I don't baby wear my own children because I don't have any, but through the little bit that I got in my postpartum training on baby wearing, I did my own research and developed a class. And now, like Brittany, I love to impart my knowledge and now teach others how to baby wear because it's so important.
It is so important. And we talked about those benefits in a previous video that I will make sure I link for you in the description below. And then we also talked about the different types of carriers in another video, also can be linked below. If you are watching through YouTube, those links will be below. I will try and make sure they get in the comments of this video as well. So why don't we just jump right in? Because we don't have a whole lot of time to do all these different carriers.
Yay. So yes, we're going to demonstrate the 4 main types. We're each going to do one. And we've got our babies to help us out. And yes, we love our babies. So we're just going to get started. Brittany, you want to do your first word?
Sure. One? All right. Crash course, guys. Crash course.
Boom.
If you would like to see it again, please hop on YouTube, watch the video as many times as you want. If you would like a more in-depth training over certain carriers, certain types, even various different types of wrap, like ways to wrap the certain carriers, let us know. We're happy to do a video over just that particular carrier because there are a ton of different ways that you can wrap a woven wrap, which will be like the third item. So I'm going to start with the May-tie on this round. Let me move my camera up just a little bit. Hopefully that helps. I'll step back some. All right, it's pretty hot, so I'm wearing my shorts and I'm doing a squat tank top.
We all understand it's hot outside.
It's pretty hot. It's gorgeous, but it is hot. All right, so remember, the May-tie has the bodice piece, and then it has 4 straps. This particular May-tie has the belt strap. So you're going to take this strap, as you can see, I start by draping it over my shoulders and getting it kind of in place of where I want it to be. This one is made so that a larger child or a smaller child can be carried in it. If for this particular style, if I want a smaller baby, I just roll the bottom part up. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and leave it rolled up because I think my baby might be a little too small for it. For this particular carrier. I do like to have this a little higher up so that if you can see here, when baby gets in here, I'm going to be able to kiss baby on the top of the head. So yeah, so if you have an older child, that looks like the belt will be more around the waistline. For a smaller child, the belt will be more, I guess this is the waist and down here is more the hips, the upper hips. So because I have essentially an infant, I'm going to have it at my waist. Now, when you go to tie it, get my straps out of the way here. I'm going to cross it and tie a double knot, not just a single knot, but a double knot. So there's my single. That's just going to come undone. Do not try and tie a bow tie. That will also come undone. You want a double knot and you want it to be tight.
Yes.
It will loosen up as the day goes on, as you wear it, as you put a child in it. So keep it nice and tight. You're going to have the little bumps in your skin and all that stuff, especially if you've had a baby, you're going to have the little baby bump. That's okay. All right, so now what I can do is I can either take off this one strap, I can lower both straps, or I can just totally lay it down. Your choice. I'm gonna grab my baby here. I'm gonna rock my baby a little bit, make sure baby's doing okay. While I'm checking on baby, I'm gonna just kind of spread out the baby's legs. I'm looking for that M shape. This baby, it's in as good of an M shape as I can get this particular baby. And the wrap, so I'm just gonna hold my baby steady, keep holding baby, rocking baby. My foot's a little caught, baby's foot, so we're gonna pull baby's foot right out of there. We're still rocking baby as I put it on the, I tend to rock side to side no matter what, but go ahead. If you're not normal, like if it's not usual for you to rock side to side, rock side to side. Just keep rocking baby. Make sure baby's comfortable. Got little feet sticking out. Now, important, we are going knee to knee. Okay, make sure you're going knee to knee. Now that I have this on, I can grab both my straps. I can let go. Baby is secure. You have a couple different options with your straps. You can do it backpack style, or I like to crisscross it and have the weight in the middle of my back rather than on my shoulders. So I crisscross that. And I kind of move my shoulders a little bit just to make sure it's nice and tight. Once it's crisscrossed, if you can see that. So now that it's crisscrossed, I'm just going to wrap it around the front and I'm going to cross it again. And then I'm going to tie another knot up here. So if you have enough material, you can do one knot and then take it around to the back and then do your double knot. If you don't have enough material, do a double knot under baby's bottom. I have enough, so I'm just going to take it back here and double knot this thing. Now I'm ready to go. Baby's hands can come out here. Baby, if they want to, can take their hands up here. I can roll this down and have a little padding. Say baby's head is kind of floppy. So I'm just going to pretend it's a washcloth instead of a hot pad. I'm going to take a washcloth or a hot pad, and I'm just going to tuck it underneath this lip, and it just gives baby a little more stability as I move around. But there we are. We are in the carrier.
Yay!
Yay! This is a front carry. You can also do a back carry with this carrier. Okay, so let's talk about how to get baby out of here because we don't want to drop baby. So let me step back a little bit more so you can see it a little better. All right, so again, I'm going to always hold baby, and especially baby's head. If baby is not sitting on their own. You can definitely hold a toddler's head. They're not going to need it as much as an infant, but go ahead and untie in the back. Now, as you loosen, keep a hand on baby. Untie in the front. It's a lot easier to untie than it is to tie. And remember, you only tied the straps in the front one time, so it comes done pretty quickly. And then there's no tie in the back. So take one strap off, switch hands. You can put this hand inside the carrier. Switch hands. Now baby's free. You can let baby down. Baby's sleeping. So I'm just going to transfer baby to a bed. Now baby's in bed, and I can undo the rest of it. I'm going to leave that done though, and I'm just going to rotate it around. So for an older child, a child that can sit on their own, has head and neck control, specifically sitting on their own, because this is really hard with a floppy baby.
Yes.
It's going to be pretty hard to show you. So, all right, what you're going to do is pick up your child, and then you're going to place your child on your hip. Okay, have those legs spread. I like to do the hip scoot. There are two ways to get baby on your back though. With an infant, it's probably a little easier to do the over the arm, but that's a little tricky to learn for newbies. So we'll just start with the hip scoot because it's pretty easy. Put baby here. My toddler tends to hold on to my arm, so I'll tell him, okay, let go, and he'll let go and tuck his arm in. And then I just kind of lift it, scoot, move. Always have a hand on a butt. This hand comes back around to grab around the leg, scoot. Now they're on your back. Make sure you still have knee to knee. You're leaning over to give them a seat. I'm stepping on it. And pull it up over your back. Now baby's up there. So once baby's up there, this one doesn't have quite enough weight for this, but you're going to kind of do a jiggle. You're going to kind of do a pop. Normally I wouldn't poke a baby in the face, but this one's falling.
He's tiny.
This one's tiny and falling over. I'm going to make sure and make sure no foot is caught. This one was caught in there. Make sure this foot's not caught. Yep, see, we're caught in here. So we want to pull a foot out. Now, a real toddler probably isn't going to have feet caught, but in this case, this is a play baby. All right. So again, you have lots of different things that you can do with the strap. You can do the backpack where it just goes and ties under the butt. And again, any extra wraps around your waist. Or I like to take it and twist it here.
Oh.
Yes, because what that does is it puts a lot of that pressure right here in your sternum and in your chest, rather than all that weight being on your shoulders.
Smart.
I love it. I love it. Then you also have the option, maybe instead of twisting it, tie it and put all that weight on your shoulder. Put all that weight on your sternum.
Love it.
It's great. Maybe you don't want to twist or tie. You can just crisscross. Untie it. Just crisscross it. I like the twist one because it also gives me, when you're breastfeeding, it puts a lot of pressure still if you don't have enough space. So the twisting gets you above and below your breasts so that you're not just leaking milk everywhere. But you can just, yep. And then you just take it and wrap it and tie it back up. So I crisscrossed it in the back. This goes over baby's ankles. Over baby's ankles. Then under the butt and then under the feet. So you only have it over baby's ankles once. My shirt's riding up. And then I'm just gonna leave it undone, but then you would double knot it again in the front. And there's your carrier. This is really comfortable to wear. Like you can't even tell there's a child on your back most of the time until it's been a couple miles of a walk. It's super comfortable. So let's talk, how do we get them out again? I've undone it. I'm holding my straps tight. Baby's not going to go anywhere as long as I'm holding my straps. Before I let these go, grab the butt, lean forward, let them go, grab the butt, pull this down. I am right-handed. I tend to get the baby off with my left side. So pull that down. You can either continue dropping if it's a toddler, let them slide down your back, or do another hip scoot again. Go slow so you can see. And now baby's back to the front and I can put baby wherever I need to go. All right, Madison, which carrier do you have for us?
Love it. We're going to start with the buckle because I want to end with the wrist. So
with the fun one.
Yes. So we're going to start with the buckle. The one I specifically have is the Ergo Baby, and I'm going to move my camera here now because I'm tall. There we go. So we've got all these different buckles and straps and all of this, and it looks really confusing. However, similar to the Mai Tai that we just saw, you need to find, you've got your waist piece, and then you've got your straps. So we're going to start by putting it on around your waist. Most of these, this tag on the inside is going to go on your body. And again, depending on how big your baby is, it's going to depend on where you're putting it on your body, just like before. Smaller babies, it's going to go up higher. Bigger babies, it's going to go down lower. I'm going to put mine just right above my hip bones for the size baby that I have, because my baby dolls are newborn sized. This one specifically has a little elastic that I can slide the buckle through to help give it a little bit more security. It's super loose. It doesn't always need to be this loose. Once you get one that's kind of fit to your size. You'll maybe need to loosen it a little bit to just get it off and back on. This was used in a demonstration, so it was used by a couple different people, which is why it was so loose. Tighten it up to your comfort. If you want it extra tight, make it extra tight. If you want it extra loose, make it extra loose. It's going to stay nice and secure no matter how tight you make it on your body. So you don't have to worry like, oh, baby's gonna fall out if I make it too loose, because baby's gonna stay secure in here. So put it where your comfort level is. So then it's time to put baby in already. I want to talk about the infant inserts, because with the buckle carriers, they're not quite as versatile as the Mai Tais, where just because we can't roll it quite as much for the smaller babies, just because we're going to run into these straps that hook into the side here, right here. Whereas with the Mai Tais, we don't have this. They're just right at the top. So if we roll it too much, it's going to get in the way of the other functions. And if we put it up way super high, now it's on my neck, and that's not going to be comfortable. So I actually need to lower this one a little bit. I put it up high so you guys could see. I knew that was going to happen. So I'm going to put it back on my hips. So it was on my natural waist. I'm going to put it right on my pelvic bone. And then some carriers have a lumbar support, which goes around the belt piece and will sit on your lower back to give you some support for your low back. Ideally, if we're putting on the straps and tightening everything properly, you shouldn't have a whole lot of weight sitting on your low back. However, if you do have back problems already, it can be very comfortable to have that lumbar support. So there are those options. So again, what we're looking at is this really big open space, and that this isn't going to be very safe for a small newborn. Because when it's time to put baby in, just like with that Mai Tai, we're going to have baby right up on our chest. And if we put baby in just like this, they're sitting down here on that waist. They're way too low. I can't reach them. And when I bring this up to cover them, they're going to get completely covered and smothered. So when we're using a buckle carrier with an infant, we have two options. A lot of buckle carriers come with infant, not come with, but can be purchased in addition to with infant inserts, which this for the Ergo looks like this. I'll show you how to use that here in a second. The brand that you're using for the carrier is the brand of insert you need to be using. You can't use an Ergo insert with a Lily baby carrier. That's not safe. You have to stick brand to brand. So if you have a buckle carrier and you don't have the name brand insert, what you can do is get a blanket, a swaddle, receiving blanket, whatever, roll it up, and stick it right there on top of, you don't want to stick it inside, but just right at that waistline, right where that meets you. And then you can bring baby over, just like you did before, making sure to keep one hand on the back and slowly lower down and use that as a seat. You're going to sit on that blanket, and now you can see baby's nice and high. And then when we bring this fabric up, I'm going to use my whole arm to hold baby and this blanket in the exact same position. So when we bring this fabric up, baby's going to be in the right position. So then we put these straps on just like backpack straps. So I'm going to put one here. I'm going to switch hands. pull baby over here and put this one on like this. This is the hood. It's just out of its pocket right now. So then once you have that, you're going to have one buckle that's up on your shoulder blades. So similar to grabbing both straps like before, what I like to do is use one hand to grab both of these and hold it nice and secure so that I can let baby go. And then buckle. And tighten. And it's just going to sit right across your back. And then you can also tighten the arm straps, making sure you don't want a whole lot of gap here. You want to make sure baby's legs are out. You don't want feet caught in that fabric, but you do want it supporting from knee to knee, again with that M position. You want baby's head high enough that you can drop down and kiss their head without too much strength. So he's a little bit low, so I would just shift up a little bit and then tighten everything. Tighten this, tighten my waist, and then tighten that back strap as well. Now he's going to be nice and secure right there. We have this hood for neck support if he was a little bit bigger. Right now he's being really well supported by just the natural fabric. But if he was a little bit bigger and needed an extra support, we've got these nice buckles and they strap onto, there's a buckle right here on the straps that this connects into. And then it's adjustable. There's multiple snaps, so you can adjust the size. A lot of buckle carriers, like we talked about, have pockets and all of that good stuff. Getting baby out is going to be very similar to the Mai Tai, except you need to loosen everything up. If you don't loosen it up and you just unbuckle, it's going to be very difficult to put it on the next time. So you want to start with the arm straps. Don't unbuckle this. You want to leave these arm straps buckled, just loosen. Make sure you've got a hand on baby and you can just pull and loosen. And pull and loosen. And then that back, the one on your shoulder blades, pull and loosen. And then this one you can unbuckle. And you can take those backpack straps off. Again, one side or both, keeping baby nice and secure. And baby's ready to go. Take that rolled off blanket and then make sure to loosen this up before you take it off as well. The infant insert, this one specifically, each one's going to be a little bit different. But this one for the ergo, you're going to put baby in this before you put it in the carrier. So I think if I do it over here, you guys can see. So I'm just going to lay it down flat and open it up, kind of like a taco. I think it looks like a taco. And if you can see, it's got like this little pillow inside, and baby's going to sit on that.
It's your baby burrito.
Like a baby burrito, yes. So I'm going to take my baby, and you want this down on a flat surface, whether it's the floor or a changing table or a table, just make sure that it's somewhere safe. You're going to lay baby down flat on their back with their bottom right up against that pillow. And then their legs are going to come over the top of that big fluffy base down at the bottom. I'm going to bring their arms down to their side, and it's going to be sort of like a little swaddle. You don't want it too tight, but you want them to be secure. And then this is going to come across, and it's going to buckle. This one has a little snap, and then it can be tightened or loosened depending on how big baby is. And then you pick up this entire thing. So it's quite literally a baby burrito, but you can see that baby is sitting on that seat with feet over. So this is very similar to, keep turning the wrong way, similar to that blanket that we had, where we get a lot more cushion in there. So then you're going to put this entire piece with baby in it in when it's time to put baby in the carrier after you put it around your waist. You can turn baby's feet out, and this cushion takes care of supporting baby's knees because he's already in a sitting position. So it's okay if baby's feet are inside the fabric. If we can pull baby's feet out a little bit, that's okay. But this support is taking care of any concerns about hip dysplasia because it's supporting all the way to the knee. You can see all the way here and here. And then again, just doing the same thing, making sure you're supporting baby and bringing this up over the entire thing. So one thing to note about this, it's kind of warm. This is a very thick insert. It's a very big carrier. And if I'm doing this in the summer, I'm gonna get real hot real fast. I have the air blowing on me right now and I'm already warm. And this isn't even a real baby. So it is something to keep in mind that sometimes the blanket does work better than the inserts. But if it's winter, this might keep everyone nice and warm, or nice and warm. So you can fold things down, make sure baby's face is exposed, but you can see you get that nice lift. Baby is in the exact perfect position without having to shift and adjust and tighten everything. You can also do a back carry like with the Mai Tai, same exact technique that Brittany showed to get baby onto the back. Buckles are all the exact same. You'll just have that buckle on your chest instead of on your back.
Do your buckles slide up and down like the one in my Manya?
I don't think, yes.
A lot of them do.
No, I don't. They look like they're supposed to, but oh, yes, they do. Hold on. Oh my gosh, they do.
A lot of them slide up and down so that when it's on your back, you can have it higher. So you, that way, if your shoulder just like, I don't have as much mobility in my shoulders as Madison does. I'm just not that flexible anymore. So they let it stay higher so you can reach it higher. And then when it's on the front, that way you can lower it so it's not totally up in your neck.
So it's like it's a buckle and it looks like it's supposed to tighten and loosen, but it actually moves it up and down.
Yeah. So check that out and see what your option is. Mine's just a little, it's like a little clip on mine. I love it.
All right, next up.
Okay, here we go with the woven. So we're getting, the woven is a great option. I absolutely love my woven. It's fantastic if you want to wear 2 children at once, or even 3, as I have been known to do. So with a woven wrap, this one is probably the length of a size 4 or 5. They have different lengths of woven wraps. I have like the equivalent of a size 3 upstairs. This one's a 4 to 5. I don't remember all the length differences, but when I made this one, I know this is my center because I did a design in the center. Most of them will have a tag on one of the rails. So the rail is the top edge and the bottom edge. That is your rail. Okay. Anytime you're putting a carrier on, whether it's woven or stretchy, you want to find the center. In this case, here is my center. I'm just going to do, I think, the standard wrap. Now, with this particular style, you're going to do this in conjunction with holding your baby. Okay, so pick baby up. We're just going to put baby on the front. I'm going to get baby in position. And all right, so now I have my center piece. If you had a tag, you would put your tag here. In this case, I have my whole center piece here. And then I'm going to just take this and wrap it around the back. So as I get the one side around the back, I'm just going to bring it up over my shoulder. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm blocking it. This up. You could do this without baby on you. I find it easier with baby on sometimes. Sometimes it's easier without them. It just makes, it's your preference. All right, now that you have the wrap kind of on, we need to make a seat for baby because right now baby's not secure. This whole thing, it's like a tube. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this, and I like to hold my hand under her butt. I'm not left-handed, so I'll show you as best I can with my left hand. And I'm going to grab this bottom rail and I'm just going to pull it up and tuck it in between us. Can you see that? So my fabric is right here in between us. The legs are still knee to knee. Knee to knee. Now that baby has a seat, I could let go. You don't want to with the heavier baby. You really need to hold on to that baby. Hopefully you didn't twist your fabric. You want this fabric nice and straight, no twists or anything in it, because as you start to pull on these rails, you want to make sure that this rail closest to your neck is the top rail. So when I tighten it, I'm just going to tighten the top rail first. And notice my little shoulder movement is kind of like a shoulder roll as I pull that up. Now I'm going to go what they call strand by strand. So I tighten this close rail first. Now I'm just going to take it and pull this fabric down and in. Pull this up on my shoulder here. You can leave it on the shoulder if you like, but I don't like it on my shoulder. And then just keep tightening all the way down. For this bottom rail, don't pull it too tight because you don't want to undo your seat. But for the most part, you can pull it fairly tight. Now you're going to hold it or put it between your knees and keep that nice and tight. Tighten this other rail. Pull it down tight. Pull it down tight. Got my bottom rail. Pull that down tight. All right, now I'm ready. You have a couple different options. You can go underneath baby's butt and wrap it around and tie it off if you want. As you can see, I still have my beautiful design. So I like to do it that way. Let's tie this off real quick. And again, we're doing a double knot. As your baby's nice and high, I can give baby kisses. I can snuggle up on baby. Stuck in my shirt.
I see that.
Stuck in the shirt. So now what we can do, say it's really cold, or we just want a little more support. You can still pull these rails up over the back of baby. But apparently this side is my underside, so I'm going to grab this side first. And then I'm going to grab that side. You can still do it that way, or you can leave these down. Baby is fully supported in the one panel. This is your typical woven technique of carrying a baby. Ta-da!
Yay!
You're going to get out of it the same way as you did before, where you untie it, you loosen everything up, you still have a hold of baby, and then you take baby out. So should we show any other ways of carrying with this particular style right now?
That's up to you. Do you know how to do the hip carry with a woven?
It's basically the same. It's been a while since I've done a hip carry though.
Okay, do we want to show that one?
I don't like the hip carry.
I mean, you don't have to do it.
No, I need to brush up on that one again. It's been a little bit.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, you want to do it?
I mean, I can.
It's been a while since I've done a hip carry because I don't like the hip carry.
Yeah, and I very well may do it differently than you too. I mean,
yeah, there's so many different ways to do it.
So many different ways to do it.
So many. There are different ways to do the front carry too.
Yeah, well, and I had never seen that way. So and one of the reasons I love doing this is because I learned so much. So
right, I'm constantly learning. All right, so Madison's going to show us the hip carry with a woven.
Yes. So again, we're going to find our center. Mine is a tag. right there. My beautiful little, usually it's their logo. They usually don't give you like an ugly tag or anything like that. And then I'm gonna put this halfway mark on the shoulder across from the hip I want to carry. I always carry my babies on my left hip, so that's where I'm going to put my baby. So I'm going to put my halfway point on my right shoulder. So I'm going to fan this out in the front and bring it around. Fan it out in the back and bring it around. I want to keep it fairly secure on my shoulder without keeping it too tight. I don't want it tight, but I want it secure so that it's not going to be falling off my shoulder. And then we're going to cross it down on our hip.
I haven't seen this one.
No?
No.
This is how I usually do it. Is I basically take that X technique from the stretchy rats and I put it down on the hips. So then we are ready to tie off. So then depending on how much fabric you have, you can either tie on this side, you can tie back over here. I'm going to tie back over here because I don't have a lot of extra fabric with this one. But that's also going to create, by doing a knot on the same hip, it's going to create a nice little seat for baby. Pull that X a little bit higher.
Now, since you don't have a back panel, I wouldn't recommend a newborn in that.
No.
Yeah.
I don't recommend newborns on the hip, just in general. That's my general rule, is they have to be sitting up on their own to be on the hip. So then I'm going to fold this up after I cross the X just to make it a little bit tighter. I might unfold it when I start putting baby in because it might be kind of tight. But by folding it up, it makes it a little bit more secure, but I don't want it on my neck. Remember, double knot. Always, always, whenever you're tying any kind of carry, it has to be a double knot, no matter what. So then make sure that this is not sitting on top of that X. You don't want your knot on that X. So pull it up and out so that you can get baby in. Trying to make sure that I'm showing you guys properly. I keep getting backwards with the mirror image and I keep turning the wrong way.
I have mine flipped so it doesn't show me the mirror image.
I need to do that, but it like freaks me out with my hair. Okay, so now we're gonna put baby in. Basically, I'm just gonna put baby on my hip. We're gonna start there, and then we're going to be putting baby in this nice little X. So, finding where. I'm going to be sliding him through. So we have, there we go. Okay, so we have this X right here. Baby's legs are going to go in the holes in the middle, right here and right here. Starting from the top, going in this way, and then on this side. Okay, now that legs are in, now we can adjust everything to be more supportive. So we're going to bring this, we can find it, here we go. This one. Over the bottom. And again, we're still going from hip to knee. It's going back over their shoulder. I'm going to have their arm inside on the back. Okay. And then this piece that goes on top, it's going to go over the bottom. Again, going hip to knee on this side as well. Cross their back, but on this side, arm is going to come out. And I can adjust on my shoulder how I need it to be. I can fold this up here. And I can adjust on my shoulder how I need it to be comfortable. I can unfold, I can refold, and then that is how I do a hip carry with a wrap.
You can do that same X technique with a shorter wrap for your back or your front carry. So if you have, say, a size 2 or size 3 wrap that you can't get a double or even a triple pass to where you have that back pass and the extras, you can just do the X carry for a larger child.
Yes.
So
we can put the foot in there if we want, if baby's kicking a lot. But it is supported. And then with a hip carry, we're not going to be 100% hands-free just because our arm is kind of right there. But we can be more hands-free, especially with larger babies, because you tend to need all of your strength in both hands. You're also going to be tending to slant. Whereas with the carry, you can use
you can use more body, you've got more mobility.
So you can keep your alignment a lot better. So and then to get out of this one, again, keeping hands on baby, and we'll undo the knot. It's a lot easier than trying to pull them out of that X.
Yeah, just undoing the knot is so easy.
Yes.
By the way, with the way she has that baby, you can breastfeed right there too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, baby is perfect spot, perfect height. With most of the woven carries, you can breastfeed just by loosening it a little bit and lowering baby to where you need baby to be.
Yeah.
And then
absolutely
repositioning and getting them tightened back up so that they're properly carried later.
Absolutely. Woven wraps are fantastic.
I love wovens.
All right, so next up is the ring sling. So my ring sling is like an extra small. So.
And mine is like extra large.
So I don't always get, it's backwards, so I don't always get the longest tail out of it. That is okay. I'm just gonna redo it. So if your ring sling comes apart, when you're taking it apart, taking it off or whatever, you don't have to completely undo it and take it out of the rings every time. You can just slide it on and off. However, if it does come apart, you just slide the ends through both rings, lay it over, separate the rings, and bring the tail through the bottom ring.
I honestly don't hardly ever take mine out.
Mm-hmm. I don't either, except after classes when it gets
kind of jumbled. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take it out if it's really twisted and I'm like, okay, I need to fix this because I can no longer find the top and bottom rails and it's not working properly.
Right, exactly. Okay, so to put this one on, you're going to want the ring on your shoulder. So depending on what kind of carry you're doing, where you're wanting baby. If we're doing a front carry, really just depends on which shoulder you want the weight on. I tend to put it on my left shoulder. So you're just going to put it on like a sash. Sometimes it can get confusing as to like which way you put it on. Best way I found is hold it like a circle, okay, and hold it like a circle with the tail on top, okay, right out in front of you. And then which shoulder do you want it on? Aim the tails that way. Put it on like a necklace and put the opposite arm through. Okay, then you get not only is the tail on top, but the ring is also on the right side. It's going to guarantee you every time until you pick it up, just naturally how to put it on, which side, and how to put it on for which side you want the rings on. When you're putting baby in, you want the rings to start fairly high because they're going to fall down. We can adjust back up to wherever they're comfortable. Some people are comfortable with the rings being right up in that pocket, right between your clavicle and your breast tissue. Some people like it further down, resting on the breast tissue. Some people actually have it swung way down here. It's not going to be conducive to be swung way down here if we're doing a front carry, but just depends on your baby. So for a front carry, all of these carries are going to look almost identical as to how to put the baby in and just where to position the pocket, which is why ring slings are so easy and so versatile, because you can quite literally put them in one position and just constantly be moving them all around. So we're going to pick up baby. You don't have to have this tight or loose when you're getting ready. You don't necessarily need it super loose, but you also don't want it super tight either. And then baby's just going to sit in this pocket. Depending on how old baby is, they can either have their legs in or out, as long as we're making sure that they're supported with their legs, getting that M shape, and the fabric is supporting from hip to knee. So I'm going to show with legs out. We're going to be creating that same seat that Brittany did earlier. So first we're going to start by just bringing this entire fabric up as we position baby in the right spot. So I want baby to sit here. I'm going to bring baby's legs out and around so you can see where baby's legs are. Okay, this is where I want baby to sit. So now how do we get the fabric to support that? So we've got our top rail here and our bottom rail is down here. We're going to start by making that seat before we even start tightening. We're going to make that seat. Make sure you're holding baby, because our fabric's not doing anything right now. It's extremely loose. It's not doing anything. Make sure you're holding baby. Just like Brittany did earlier, while we're holding baby, what I do is I reach through and in between, and I grab as much fabric as I can, and I just start pulling until I can find that edge seam, and then I start flattening it out. Then I adjust legs later. So now I have, there we go. Now I have that piece of fabric right there. You can see, I'm going to adjust baby's leg so that it's not quite caught in there. Okay, adjust baby's leg on this side. Didn't get caught quite so much. We've got that nice little seat. They're going to be nice and secure. And now it's time, make sure that they're still in the right position. Now it's time to start tightening. I'm going to start by tightening the top rail. So I'm going to start on the opposite side of the rings, and I'm just going to start pulling the rail little by little across baby. Baby's arms can be in or out. I'm going to have baby's arms in, just little by little. And once we get all the way over here, all this fabric is bunched up, we have our tail, okay, and we can see which side of the tail that rail is for. We can loosen up the rings just a little bit. You can see my arm is still supporting baby right here. And we can just tighten all the way across. This fabric likes to be tricky and not move through the rings very well, which always is great when I'm trying to demonstrate how to tighten it, and it doesn't want to tighten. You just want to pull.
That can be a
on
good
one
thing.
side.
It's got enough tension that it won't just slide out.
Come on now. There we go. So then it's not going to get all the way tight the first time. Okay. Your tail might look a little funky, but that's okay. So now, but we're tight enough that I feel secure letting baby go, but we're still not tight. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to adjust a little bit more because I want that fabric kind of more down here. We're gonna tighten again. And if you feel like this fabric down here needs to be tightened too, again, little by little, bring it all the way across and up to where that tail is and pull it through. And then if the bottom does need tightening, you can do the same thing. Just pull it little by little, all the way across, up over here, without pulling that seat out, and then pull the tail. And now it's nice and secure. It's not great, but my tail is being finicky and I don't want to spend all my time messing with the fabric. You can have baby's arms in or out. You can adjust this little ring, and baby's nice and happy in their little seat, in their ring. If we decide halfway through our day, I don't want baby on my front anymore, I want baby on my side. Baby's on my side now, and all we're going to do is a little bit of rail adjusting, make sure that we're still nice and secure, but it's the exact same seat. Again, I keep turning the wrong way. It's the same seat. We're just going to make sure that we're still nice and secure. Okay, now we're wanting a backpack carry. We want to be on the back. Same thing again. We're just going to swing baby around. And with this doll, it's going to look crazy. But with an older child that is actually old enough to be in a back carry, it's not going to look quite so crazy. Have legs over here. Make sure again, we're just every time we change positions, we're tightening those rails and making sure that everything is nice and secure, but you still have that seat. Make sure that that seat is still in between you and baby. If ever you want to go on the other side, you want baby to sit on this hip, you'll need to take the ring sling off and switch the rings. Otherwise, you can do back and front carry no matter what side the rings are on. And then to get baby out, if they're on the hip or your front, you can just loosen up a little bit and pull them out. If they're on the back, bring them around to side or front. Just kind of shimmy a little bit. To loosen, you just separate the rings as much as you can and loosen just a little bit. Again, making sure that you're holding baby nice and secure. If you have an infant, make sure that the bottom is secure and head, and then just pop them right on out. And that is a ring sling. You can also lay baby down in this pocket, especially if you're breastfeeding, baby fell asleep, or they're a newborn. And we're quite literally, again, just going to create that pocket. I'm going to bring that second piece of fabric up beforehand, okay, and create a little pouch. Little baby. And they can lay on either side because we're going to tighten in a way that raises the head no matter what side the ring is on. I do find that the side that the ring is on tends to have the higher elevation, but it's not necessarily required. And then we're just going to slide baby into the pocket little by little, making sure that we are supporting them head and bottom at all times, and then making sure that that fabric in between you stays as high as possible. And then again, tightening little by little each rail, starting with the back and then doing the front, making sure that no fabric covers baby's face. And that's a ring sling.
Great tool.
Yes. And it's so easy to breastfeed too.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
a great cover up because you'd have no idea I'm breastfeeding right now.
That's right. And most ring slings can carry infant all the way to toddler. So
yes,
they're very versatile.
Very.
Moving my extra light source.
No.
I try and move my monitor back into its normal place. So that those are the 4 basic types of carriers. Those are your 4 those are very quick run throughs. We could definitely do a longer run through at some point. And with wovens and ring slings, as you saw, there are lots of different ways to carry. So check out YouTube, find out what's out there. If you would like us to do a consultation, reach out. We'd love to talk to you about ways to carry and let you try some of our carriers so that you can decide what works for you. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it is breastfeeding week. It's International World Breastfeeding Week. Sorry. And this month we have a breastfeeding enrichment. So if you are interested in breastfeeding and would like to attend, check out our website, kcwomensministry.org, and go to the events page, sign up, come and learn some breastfeeding techniques from us. It is going to be amazing. It's going to be great. So,
Yes.
yeah. All right. Well, that's all we have to say today on upcoming enrichments. And this was a long one. Thank you guys for sticking to it. And we hope we will see you again next week.
Yes. Thank you.